Yes?
I've made a start.
Bully for you.
I see they're coming to adjust the petrol pumps on Monday.
I know.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
Are you going to look over their shoulder while they fix them?
No.
Well, I am, and I can assure you it's very boring.
There's quite a backlog.
If there's some magic formula, please feel free to enlighten me, won't you?
I'm not complaining. It's just a statement of fact.
Super.
Look, Sharon, it would be nice, in spite of all the mess, if we could just...
What mess?
Dobson and Company.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the score on that front?
We're winning 0-0, but I think they're getting the message.
Good. If we could what?
If we could work together a little bit more easily. There are enough stresses and strains without barricades going up all the time. Don't you agree?
If barricades go up, it's because they're needed.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't think it is impossible for you and I to work together.
I'm glad to hear it.
But what I can't stand at any price is being won over.
Now, hang about.
Or being told to favour certain customers.
Now we're talking about Mr. Lamont.
Well, see, he gets the treatment.
I don't think you need any lessons there, sweetheart.
Am I hearing you right?
Don't think I haven't noticed how heavy your right hand has become the last few days.
Jill told you.
She mentioned it in passing. I would say it was quite a reward for delivering a car to a busy housewife, wouldn't you? But I'm not blaming you. Good luck to you. But don't come all that untouchable holier-than-thou with me. We're all in this for what we can get. But my God, you certainly seem to have a knack.
You haven't got a clue, have you? I don't like you. I don't like being patronized, smiled at, smarmed, over-touched, anything. Now, that might give you the right to think me very odd indeed, the one in a million that does not succumb to the charm. It might also give you the right to think I am otherwise engaged, at vast personal profit. But what it does not do, Mr. Chance, is give you the right to say it because you're wrong. Sweetie, I can't work with you. I can't work for someone I wouldn't buy a second-hand car from.
Schwartz it.
Schwartz it.
Schwartz it!
Just add a pinch of spice that comes from Schwartz's to all your food.
To all your food. Schwartz it, that's the thing to do. Schwartz it, the finest herbs for you.
They have such quality and purity, they really are the best.
Over 80 spices and they're better than the rest.
For a taste of the world's finest spices, Schwartz it.
For a fast, reliable developing and printing service, bring your colour film to Boots. For example, only $2.99 for 20 prints. That's the photo deal from all Boots branches.
Brighter prospects for pockets of British holidaymakers going to the Channel Islands, with new low-cost British Midland flights rapidly moving south. Frequent takeoffs from Birmingham and East Midlands airports with holiday fares starting at £65 return. The summary: fly British Midland to the Channel Islands.
British Midland.
This is the plunger, the anti-scale device which is the secret of Tefal's new long-life steam iron. You simply wipe scale off the non-stick tip when it builds up. You can use tap water in the Tefal, and the holes stay clear. So the steam output is always sensational. The new Tefal Long Life, a challenge to scale for years to come.
This summer, have the time of your life on a Freshfields family holiday, or Freshfields will eat their hat. Have they bitten off more than they can chew? Take a caravan in the French countryside. Go boating in the prettiest parts of France or England, or self-catering in the glorious West Country. Freshfields holidays are so good, he'll probably never have to eat a single hat. There's a huge range of value-for-money holidays in Freshfields' new brochures. Ring or see your travel agent for a free one.
In tonight's programme, flash floods cause havoc throughout the Midlands. We visit the shop that guarantees a cracking Christmas and the funny thing that happened to the man who went fishing. Hello again. First, we had the big freeze, then the sudden thaw, and now severe flooding. Vast areas of the Midlands are under several feet of water tonight, and there's been a warning it's going to get worse. Thousands of acres of farmland have been flooded. Millions of gallons of water have turned city streets into rivers. It's meant a mammoth operation for emergency services, and Len Tingle has been to the West Midland Fire Brigade Nerve Centre in the heart of Birmingham.
Here in the West Midlands, the phones have been buzzing since about midday when the torrential rain first started, and fire control became flood control. In the West Midlands alone, fire engines have been called to over 100 floods. 6 people were pulled out of a car submerged on a city trading estate road, and the calls are still coming in.
Is it affecting your electricity at all? Yes, what's the address, please?
What's the worst incident that you've attended today?
And that involved an electricity substation which flooded fairly rapidly. The whole surrounding area was flooded, and it entered the basement of the substation, which then, as it reached floor level, there was a danger that the whole of the electric, which covered a large part of Birmingham, was going to be turned off, and people would be isolated.
Scenes like this are occurring all over the region. Torrential rain and the thaw, and thousands of gallons of water are pouring onto the streets, and the drains simply can't cope. And with more rain on the way, emergency services are expecting a busy night.
The whole of the Midlands has been devastated by today's flooding. This is Gloucestershire, where the River Severn burst its banks. Some of the worst affected areas are around Gloucester, Tewkesbury and the Forest of Dean, where some roads are beneath at least 2 feet of water. Thousands of gallons of water are pouring into the Severn from the Welsh hills, and a new flood alert is being issued for tonight's midnight tide in the Severn estuary. In Warwickshire, the River Avon has also burst its banks, and floodwaters several feet deep are now covering hundreds of acres of farmland. Police report several roads blocked and others virtually impassable. Motorists have been getting through, but many have decided not to take the risk. Police are advising people to stay indoors and only use a car for vital journeys. Farmers in Shropshire could lose up to £1 million because floodwaters have covered valuable fields of sugar beet. It's estimated about 48,000 tonnes of beet are still in the ground, and everything will depend on the weather for the next few days. West Mercia police say dozens of roads throughout Herefordshire are now totally blocked, and householders are being warned to stand by because the floodwater is still rising. One police report describes the scene as chaotic.
So the message has to be stay at home tonight if you can. Well, it is, of course, the middle of the party season, and it seems that this year it's not enough simply to offer your guests a drink and a sausage roll. Entertainment's required as well. Party games, dressing up, silly bow ties are all the rage, which means a cracker over Christmas time for one Midland shop which specialises in party jokes. Jeff Mead went shopping.
Session, the owners of Party Mania in Oxford, could be accused of fiddling while Rome burned. They opened their Emporium of Fun last June, and surprisingly, trade's gone up even faster than unemployment. It seems that especially in a recession, there are those prepared to spend £35 on a truly horrifying rubber fright mask. It's called the Bird Watcher. But jollity can come a lot cheaper. Pop in a 4p tablet, and moments later you're foaming green froth at the mouth.
But what gave you the idea in the first place?
Well, I've always been nagging my husband, the chap who was wearing the lion suit earlier on, about opening a shop. I fancied Devon cream teas, actually, because I come from Devonshire. But every time I mentioned anything, his face sagged until the idea of party mania, and he laughed.
So do you think then that people like to joke to get away from the headache of the recession?
Well, I'm not exactly a history student, but I know that in the 20s and 30s, people went mad. Everything was so sad. They rushed out and bought funny hats, crazy things, blew their tops, and generally spent money on having a good time.
What sort of people buy these jokes? Is it just kids?
No, absolutely everybody. It started off with children buying, you know, a few pennies worth of presents, but everybody, from ladies, students, we get the lot.
And other than terrifying masks like this one, what other sort of things do you sell?
Fancy dress is the thing. Hats, you know, that sort of thing. Lots of people dressing up as Victorian barmen with moustaches. We have makeup, they can do anything. If they don't want to wear a full overhead mask, then that's the ideal thing, because most men like to drink and they get upset with a straw through the mouth.
What about for parties, this sort of thing?
The fun, the party poppers, that sort of thing.
What are they?
Well, you hold this and you bang. That's been amazing. Very strong, yes. You hold it away from your face when you do that.
Anything else?
Yes. The festival...
What's that?
Well, that's just this mess.
Happy New Year to you too.
Well, jokes apart, as we bask in the goodwill and happiness of the festive season, let's give a thought to those whose Christmas wasn't so happy, those who fell victim to crime. Shaw Taylor reports on such a case in the last Police 5 of 1981. This is his report.
For a young woman in Evesham, Christmas turned into a nightmare. In the evening of Boxing Day, walking her dog in Abbey Park, she was attacked and raped. Pluckily, she returned to the spot today to tell us what happened in the hope that someone will recognise her attacker before he claims another victim. Naturally, we made sure she would not be identified by keeping her back to camera.
What time do you think it was that you were walking the dog along the path here?
About 20 to 9.
Which way did you come from?
I came from Burford Road.
Down to the end there and back
Down to the end and back, yeah.
Did you see any sign of the man who attacked you when you came past?
No.
So where do you think he was hiding?
Probably behind the tree.
Behind the tree just here?
This one, yeah.
What happened?
The dog went to jump up the man, and I went to stop him, and I brought the dog to my left side and put him on the lead, and just as I was standing up, an arm came around my neck and shoulders, and I felt a sharp instrument pressed into the back of my neck, the right side.
Which you assumed to be a knife, of course?
Yes.
What did he make you do then?
He made me walk over to the swings. He told me not to scream and I won't get hurt. And he made me walk over to the swings.
And then?
When I got there, he told me to tie the dog up. But I couldn't do it, so he told me to leave him. And he told me to take all my clothes off.
And that's when he sexually attacked you?
Yes.
Did you get any glimpse of him at all?
No, not at all. He tied my face around with one of the scarves I was wearing.
Which way did he run away?
He ran towards the Marine Ballroom.
And that's when you tore the scarf off and you saw him for the first time running away. Did you get a glimpse at all of how old he might be or anything like that?
He was about 25 to 30.
What about his height?
5'6", 5'8", around that area.
Clothing?
Black or brown leather coat above the knee with a high collar.
A high collar almost obscuring his head?
Yeah, I couldn't see all of his head.
What about trousers?
Black or brown flannel flared trousers.
And that's all you saw?
And that's all I saw.
That's not much of a description to go on, David, is it?
No, it isn't, but obviously we think that the dark knee-length leather coat with the high collar may mean something to someone watching the programme at this moment.
And the flared trousers.
And the flared trousers, dark flared trousers, yes.
Anything else we can help you on?
Yes, we would like to hear from anyone who saw the young lady walking her dog, either down Port Street into the park, in the park itself.
Or indeed anyone who saw the man in the leather coat come racing out of the gate here. Would there be many people about at that time, David?
Not many people about at that time of night, but there was a disco going on in a pub up in Bridge Street, so it's possible that he may have been there and come out and attacked this young lady and possibly gone back afterwards.
If we can help on this, where do we get in touch with you?
Well, ring Evesham 2511.
All calls in strict confidence, of course.
Of course.
And let's hope we get the same reaction as we did last week. Within minutes of the programme, viewers gave the information that enabled Birmingham detectives to make 2 arrests in connection with the stabbing outside the Locarno. The victim, incidentally, is still under intensive care in hospital. The Supreme Service Station, College Road, Petty Bar, Birmingham, some 30 yards on the city side of the junction with King's Standing Road. At 1 o'clock in the morning last Sunday, the cashier was held up by 2 armed men. They smashed the door, and although she tried to phone for help, they snatched the receiver away from her and ripped it from the wall. They then rifled the till of the mere £50 or so that was in it, leapt into a small green Mini with a K registration, and escaped. The girl ran out onto the forecourt and screamed and waved at a number of passing vehicles, including a black cab, but either they didn't see her or they ignored her. Eventually a car stopped and the alarm was raised, but we would like the help of every driver that recalls seeing that girl. And of course anyone who can give a lead on that green Mini with a K registration. Both men wore stocking masks, so were a bit light on descriptions, except that one was in his late 20s and heavily built, inclined to fat. He wore a shabby brown coat and carried what could be a sawn-off single-barreled shotgun. And the other man was tall and slim and armed with a revolver. Fatty did all the talking, but he didn't have a recognisable accent. If you were in the area, Saturday night, Sunday morning, or can give a lead on that K registration, green Mini, please ring the detectives at Erdington on 382-4768, or of course your local police. Finally, a clue to a burglary in Pershore. 2 layers of silver cutlery stolen from a wooden case. It has one or other of 2 distinctive family crests. The Wilton crest, which is a wolf set in a crown carrying an arrow in its mouth, or the boar's head crest, which, not surprisingly, is a boar's head. If you're offered silver with either of these crests, please ring Pershore 553418 or your local police. There is a reward on offer for the recovery of the silver. Which brings me to the seasonal greeting of a Happy New Year to all our viewers and a prosperous one to almost all. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year to you too, Shaw. Well, you know, this is the time of year when those calendars start coming through the letterbox. You know the ones I mean. Usually they're shot in exotic places with exotic ladies everywhere. Well, now the latest one, which has been released as a limited edition, has been photographed entirely on location in the East Midlands by a lady who herself was one of the top glamour models. John Mitchell reports.
It was just over a year ago when Howard's, the Nottingham printing company, decided to branch out into the highly competitive promotional calendar field. And to celebrate their first anniversary, they've launched an upmarket girly calendar, which they hope will become a collector's item. The page 3 model, Nina Carter, has been the brains as well as the beauty behind the project. But why decide to photograph it in the East Midlands?
Well, because I come from the Midlands, and because why not do a calendar in England for a change? So many people go abroad to exotic places. We have some of the best countryside, I think, in the world here.
Is there a special theme, then, to the calendar?
Yes, the theme is caught out. The idea of it being a sort of voyeur's calendar, where there's always an unlikely character who bursts into a room or a situation where a lady is where you would least expect to find her. The cover shot is basically an explanation of the theme, and so we chose a cricket pitch for that, and there was a wicket keeper with a bare bottom, who I won't mention her name, and several fielders who were dressed in sort of white blouses and not a lot else. After that, there's a shot at the Great Central Railway at Loughborough, and a beautiful girl in that shot with the station master peeking at her from underneath his hat. And this shot here, which is of 2 gamekeepers they were wonderful characters. And I said to them, look, you know, do you mind peeking at the spot that's going to be revealed? And they said, oh no. And they took a very obvious look, and I said, not that obvious, you know, but they loved doing it. And then there was another shot which was done at Retford Hotel, a lady which was me, the bellboy was peeking at her. In each situation, there's somebody looking on at a lady in a situation that you would least expect to find someone. I wanted to be on the front cover, and I wanted to do the one in with the bellboy because that's a sort of strange fantasy of mine. I wanted to do that. There's another shot that I do that is a back view. I look better from the back, you see, so I thought I'd pick that one. I'll let you guess which one that was.
Three of the characters who were featured and lucky fellows caught the ladies out were Keith, a gamekeeper from Beaver, Owen the chauffeur, and Ivor the bemused fisherman.
Well, it was a Saturday afternoon, it was raining, and I was fishing illegally in a loch at Cossington near Rothley. And these two girls turned up and caught me out. Absolutely. I didn't know what to do. It was amazing.
All right, you've got an excuse for that, but you were also in the pub too at the end, so what's your excuse?
That was
there?
a sheer coincidence. I was having a quiet afternoon drink in Colston Bassett, Martin's Arms in Colston Bassett, and they all turned up, this crew, to take this photograph of this calendar. They wanted a dirty old man, and they took one look at me, and they didn't realise I was a fisherman. It was absolute coincidence. And, well, a bit of typecasting. I hope I don't look at dirty old man, but they all said I did.
But you didn't enjoy it, did you?
Not at all, no. I'm only 23.
A likely story, they're drooling in here. But before all you keen fishermen and drinkers head for the East Midlands in the hope of getting part-time modelling work, I should point out that Nina Carter's calendar is now finished, printed and on the road. And now, just watch this.
A Song for Leyland. A few weeks ago, we showed you film of Japanese workers singing their company song, and we thought it might be fun to ask you to write one for the lads at British Leyland. We didn't know what we were starting. From Scotland to Southampton, from Cardiff to Cambridge, the entries simply poured in. From 8-year-olds, from 80-year-olds. The world, it seems, is packed with frustrated songwriters. Many of you wrote your own tunes. Dozens sent us tape recordings of their own efforts. Well, before we come to the winner, it's worth looking at some of the other entries. To start with, we got far fewer satirical songs than we expected. Plainly, most Midlanders really do want BL to prosper. Anyway, let's have a look at just a line or two from some of your songs.
There'll always be a Leyland.
A popular thought, that.
When the red, red robbo goes bob, bob, bobbing along, along.
And we had no end of those too. Needless to say, there were some rather unkind entries.
Sleep right on to the end of the shift. God rest ye Rover night shift men.
Several people pointed out that the Leyland song was in the top 10 in 1973. It was called
You Can't Touch Me, I'm part of the union.
Anyway, let's get the satire out of the way.
If you ever go to work at British Leyland, we promise you a very happy time. When you see the way we go about our business, you'll think you're at a first-rate pantomime. Ha ha ha, hee hee hee, whatever happened to the MG? Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Edwards?
That one from a shop steward.
Morning has broken at British Leyland, where we build metros all the day through.
Well, that's more the sort of thing that we're looking for. Incidentally, just to prove there's nothing new under the sun, someone sent us this. It's the Austin Unity song sung at Longbridge in the 1930s.
We stand united with Austin as our aim. Our path is lighted with progress for the flame. No shirkers, all workers, all playing the game.
It's grand stuff. Anyway, now let's come on to the winner. Out of all those entries, the judges found one song that was totally different from all the others. From Mr. E.J. Gamble of Wiles Lane, Birstall, Leicester, A Song for Leyland.
We build the cars to travel all the roads, from Leyland's cradle born are they. fashioned from every mold, bearing a different load. Over all the earth we send them on their way. From these strong arms our gleaming children run, o'er fields of green and desert too. Now clouds have dimmed the sun, the rains have just begun. All our hopes are swept away, and men are few. The robot comes with all its power and might, from science cradles born are they. With arms of steel they fight to take away our right. Over all the earth our flesh doth fade away. Despite dispute, there is no better race. From Leyland's cradle born are we. Without our form and face, the world's a lonely place. And from life's hard toil, you must not set us free. The mind machines, oh sure they feel no pain. They do not stand in line for pay. They have no need of gain and feel no sweat or strain. But beware, they may yet stand on feet of clay.
And that Song for Leyland was set to the theme from Exodus by special permission of the publishers Chapel Music. Well, if that makes your heart bleed, what about the weather? Let's find out what's in store for the last day of the year and join Jerry.
Well, it's been a very cold December. In fact, it's one of the coldest we've ever experienced, and our records go back 250 to 300 years. They're not at the airport, of course. It wasn't built then. In fact, we might pip the record. The previous one was 1890, when the average temperature was about -0.8. The following January and February of that year, things warmed up a little bit. Now, looking at the chart, I'm not surprised we've had so much rain in the area. Nothing but low pressure, 970 millibars, quite low pressure at that. And I'm rather concerned about this low. It's going to move slowly east-northeast, bringing further rain to the southern counties. Now, if we look at the satellite picture, one can see the cloud associated with the thundery outbreaks that we had this morning. In fact, a lady from Green rang up. She was rather frightened about the severe thunderstorm they had. Down in the Bay of Biscay here, all this cloud brewing up, associated with that low I was telling you about, to bring the rain into the southern counties. And now, if we give the weather in more detail, well, at the moment, it's rather cloudy throughout the area. 1 or 2 light showers, but I think as the evening and night goes on, the rain in Gloucestershire will become more persistent and a little bit heavier, and over into Oxfordshire, Bedfordshire, and even into Cambridge. So it doesn't look too good for that part. The rest of us, still these odd light showers. Temperatures 4 or 5 degrees centigrade. Now, the rain will die out from the west round about dawn time, and it will be a dry day with sunny intervals. However, over to the east, I think rain will persist for a little bit longer, but even here, it will die out by midday, but it will be a little bit cloudy. Temperatures, definite 6 appeal there. So to summarise tomorrow's weather, sunny intervals, but rain in the east at first. Bob.
Thank you, Jerry. Look at the headlines tonight. Cracks in the NATO alliance are beginning to emerge over the response to the military takeover in Poland. Germany has refused to back President Reagan's calls for sanctions against the Russians. The German government says it disagrees with the American view that the Soviets are behind the military crackdown. In Poland itself, the authorities say they'll cut the working week from 46 to 42 hours. That's in line with earlier demands made by the free trade union Solidarity. At home, talks continue to try to avert the threatened rail strike in January. And in Cornwall, the disaster fund for families of the 8 crew killed aboard the Penley lifeboat is expected to top £1.25 million by tonight. Well, as you've no doubt gathered, the whole country is taking another battering from the weather. And apart from tomorrow's forecast, the weather prospects for the early New Year period look very unsettled, say the Met Men. Now, we've had the removals men in today taking down all the ATV signs. It's only 48 hours now to the first edition of Central News, our brand new news and current affairs programme for the Midlands region. In fact, there'll be 2 Central Newses, one from here in Birmingham and another from our news studios in Nottingham, specifically for East Midland viewers. We'll be launching both the new programmes with special party editions on Friday. But tomorrow night, for the last ever combined ATV Today, something we've been wanting to do for years. We're putting John Swallow on trial. We reckon he's caused so much trouble around the Midlands over the years, it's time he is made to pay the penalty. We're going to make him watch some of the films he's churned out over the years for ATV Today. We hope you'll join us for that. I think I can promise you quite a treat. See you tomorrow at 6. Bye-bye for now.
If you want America at the right price, you want Americana holidays. The Golden West, Las Vegas, Disneyland, Florida, Hawaii. They'll give you scheduled flights, great hotels. They'll even get your American visa. It's all in the Americana brochure at your travel agent. Or ring this number for a copy now.
Only one of these people has Scholl thermal insoles. Thermal insoles really keep your feet warmer. With a thermal insulator, plus this amazing aluminized film, originally designed to combat sub-zero temperatures in space. You've got the thermal insoles, haven't you?
Yes.
Scholl thermal insoles keep the heat in your feet.
Great gas winter sale! Great savings on gas cookers and fires! Other great bargains too! Great news! I better get there. See you at the Great Gas Winter Sale!